Hello YouTube, this is Not a Misfortune bringing you yet another replay from Supreme Commander 2. This is of course a League game from League Season 3. This is one of the later rounds and the last League game, not only for the season, but for the year, and who knows, maybe for the rest of time, who knows. Don't know if I'm going to be doing leagues next year yet, but anyhow, today is a very exciting match. Stay tuned until the very end to find out a little bit of a recap of the league, as well as to find out the final league standings. That is, as always, going to be at the end. Before we go ahead and talk a little bit more about specifics of this match, however, did want to address a few things. Number one, I had some audio issues, which I think a few of you noticed, and I definitely noticed. I don't know why my microphone started recording only the left channel, which is super annoying. And I didn't really change anything, but I had to change it to some weird setting. I don't really like it. So we'll see if this causes any problems, but I think my sound should be better. And number two is I realized that my Patreon page wasn't set up properly, and probably none of you have actually realized that, but I do have a Patreon page. So if you do enjoy my content, that is one of the best way to support me. If you've enjoyed my videos that I've been making for the past year, go ahead and check out my Patreon page, and hopefully you can contribute that way. As always, though, any kind of help, like a subscription or a follow, is always helpful. Or you can introduce a friend to my channel. I don't do just Supreme Commander 2 videos. I also do some Dungeons & Dragons, some co-op gaming, and things like that, some tutorials. So hope you enjoy the content that I put out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this game itself. This match is between Iron Commander, somebody who has been casting for a little while. Now, it's not really intentional, but he has been playing quite a bit, and I haven't really showed him off in other seasons or other tournaments because he hasn't played in many. I think he only played in one tournament, only the summer tournament. So there you go. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. This game is kind of special because his opponent is Vanady. Now, Vanady and Iron Commander are, in my opinion, very closely matched players. Their win rate is fairly close to each other, and I think their styles, or the way they play, is very, I don't want to say methodical, but very planned and organized. And I think they're kind of like these sleeping giants that you don't notice much special about the way they play. Much creativity, I suppose. But they do show just amazingly solid gameplay from both of them. So let's see who comes out on top. Our first match is, of course, Coalition's Shipyard. Picked roughly 31% of the time, banned 17% of the time. And across the board for faction picks, we have 16% for UEF, 22% for Cybern, 36% for Aeon, and then 6% random. Win percentages are quite a bit in favor of Cybern, but I think we still have a fairly short or low data set. However, they do win quite a bit. That cannot be ignored. So 25% for UEF, 75% for Cybern, and 26% for Aeon, with a little bit of mirror matches as well. So that's that. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. I think this match is going to be quite interesting. So I'll comment on the rest once it actually starts. So 3, 2, 1, play. And the reason why I do that, by the way, is in the old days, the video wasn't quite good. So, people would listen to the VOD. That's what we call them, VODs. That's probably why you've heard some people say or call these videos VODs. In the olden days, our computers were shit boxes, and our software couldn't really keep up. So people would watch and then listen to the VOD, and that's why we say 3, 2, 1, go, and then we say what the game speed is usually. Probably nobody really does that anymore because videos has really caught up. Like, I never would have imagined that would be recording in 2K. Not only has technology caught up, but certainly my PC has caught up. But anyway, I have not introduced these players yet, which is very, very bad of me. In the bottom, we have our blue Aeon Commander with the name of Iron Commander. He has been plopping down one air factory and going into some energy production. Pretty standard, sending a scout. His opponent is also scouting, although his air is a little bit faster. We have Vanady spawning as our teal Cybern Commander, doing a little bit more focus on to that air production and moving his ACU towards the center, which is a very good idea on this map because ultimately I think land is what determines things on this map. So we got a Cybern versus Aeon. Iron Commander throwing down that second air factory. Going to try and pick up some scouts. I don't know why that plane for Iron Commander has been sitting there, and he's about to fly into actually a conglomerate of Geminis over here. He needs to retreat, but a little bit too late. Those two planes are going to jump on it, and Iron Commander has a very, very poor start here to this game one. Now, Iron Commander, as I've mentioned previously, is a little bit of a late comer to the SCS, so he had a little bit of a late start in terms of points. So every point matters, and you know, it's going to be a hard take for him to actually qualify for the SCS, but I believe. Now, while these players, they're still in the air phase, looks like Vanady is going to be doing well and sending his planes to bombard things, which is what you should be doing, especially when you get an air advantage. But anyway, let me mention a couple of more things. So SCS 2020 is coming to a close. We have our Invitational at the start of December. Top 8 players. Well, not necessarily the top of the top 8, but 8 players who are probably on top of their game, or definitely on top of their game, will qualify and compete in this tournament for a trophy. At the very least, I might throw in a prize pool. I know I promised a prize pool, but at this point I had some things occur, so I'm not quite sure that I will be able to provide a prize pool. Looks like there's another air engagement, by the way, which Vanity wins handsomely. Iron Commander should not have engaged there. There was no anti-air. There's absolutely no hope for him to engage. Looks like Iron might have picked up some stars, hoping that might give him the win, but unfortunately it does not. Let me actually speed up this to 2. Vanity's commander actually made it all the way down here. There's no land, and Iron Commander's commander is actually way over here on the right. This is looking very desperate. But anyway, before that invitational, we have one last tournament. This is the SCS Serpents Open Fall Tournament. We already have 9 players signed up, and I'm really hoping to get us to at least 16, maybe even 32. So go ahead and check that tournament out. It's going to be fun times. If you've participated in an SCS event before and you have not yet qualified, I did throw in a special reward for the person that does best in that tournament and has not qualified for the SCS Invitational in any other ways. They will automatically qualify. So that will be our 8th player, and then the 7th will be decided by mostly wins in the league and the points that you have in the SCS. It's be too much for me to cover exactly how you qualify. There is a rules document that I covered. There's actually one of my videos. Go ahead and search for that. It's an overview of the SCS rules. Quite easy to follow that video. Anyway, it looks like Iron Commander is throwing down quite a bit of land factories. I think that's probably a right choice, but at this point, Vanady has caused quite a bit of damage with his commander, of all things, managing to pick up 2 mass extractors now and 1 energy generator. The air engagement has reoccurred, I guess, for the 3rd time. And he actually managed to win again, and Iron Commander has stopped his air production for a moment. Going for a bombing run here for Wasps are not, or sorry, We Do Boths are not going to do anything in his case. There's some Harbucks coming out. Let's see if he has enough research for anti-air. He does not, so those Harvogs will not be participating in the air fight. All Vanady has to do is engage here with his Geminis, and he will have a handsome win, especially when he has a wonderful engagement such as this. Vanady is a little bit in trouble on the land front, however. His commander is about 75% of the way down, but now there's no air for Iron Commander, no split from Iron Commander, but now it's coming out. Nice split at the very last second, and anti-air on their Harvogs is being researched, and now Iron Commander is in a fairly good spot in terms of contending that anti-air space, or airspace, I suppose. However, his mass has really taken a hit there, and he's very, very behind Vanady, who has decided to retreat because he has been focusing a little bit on that mass point construction, and now he's throwing down quite a bit of land factories. So that is going to be the follow-up there. I'm not sure if it's a little too late, though. There's a lot of Harvogs out on the field. There's only 3 Loyalists here in the front. Let's slow it back down to 3 here. And yeah, nice engagement. Let's see if there's structure detonate. Structure detonate is beautiful for Vanady, and that is might be the thing that seals this game in the coffin for Vanady. That is a lot of Harvogs. I can't believe Iron Commander has made that mistake. You should never, ever, ever, ever go that closely with that many units to a structure for a Cybern, especially a unit such as a Harvog who has considerably less health than a tank. Another engagement here. Nice tanking by the Iron Commander. And transitioning into a PD creep, of course. Last resort from the Aeon. Now this anti-air tower will be a little bit of a problem here. There's a shield on this factory which will protect from a PD for the time being, but unfortunately there's nothing that can contend these. There is a missile launcher on one of these factories, but that's not going to do enough damage here. And these point defenses, there's a nice flanking maneuver by Vanady, doing a very nice split. Unfortunately, that leaves his front here wide open. Looks like he's just a little bit too scattered, unsure what exactly to do. Does the right thing here, I think, taking 8 bots over there and flanking. Gonna try and take out as much of Iron's base as he can, and this might just work here. Iron Commander is struggling for mass at this point, building way too many PDs, losing another mass extractor. That is actually very, very hurting Iron at this point. He loses the forward lance factory as well as one of the point defenses, rebuilds it, however, on the wreck, which is a nice move. Vanady is going to lose his loyalists over here, but not before they might pick off another mass extractor. Let's see if he can focus fire here. He does not. Iron Commander is only on 4 mass extractors right now. Losing one of these vetted mass extractors would be terrible. And at this point, I think Vanady just needs to go megaliths or cobras to break this position here. But then, of course, his loyalists might just overwhelm Iron Commander here in a second. And that they will. Is that another structure detonate? Oh my goodness, there's simply way too many loyalists here. Iron Commander is going to get sniped with all things, including missile launchers. And Iron Commander goes down in game 1. Quite a bit of an upsetting game for him, I think. But anyhow, Vanady is definitely deserving of this win. He played almost a flawless game here, and very nicely done by him. Let's see if Iron Commander can turn it around and get at least 1 point here in game 2. I will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is, again, Nite of Misfortune if you've forgotten who your host was. But this map is, of course, Open Palms, which needs no introduction, but I will still go through it nevertheless. Picked over half the times, 52%, and banned only 14% of the time. If that doesn't tell you enough about how overhyped this map is, well, I don't know about overhyped, but hyped up definitely is, then I don't know what will. Definitely, probably the most popular map in Supreme Commander 2. Let's see the pick rates. 17 for UEF, 54 for Cybern, 22 for Aeon, and about 6% for Random. Win rates, fairly even. One of the more even maps. Not the most even map, but 35 or 30. Yeah, 35 for UEF, 57 for Cybern, and 52 for Aeon. Win percentages. So that's open palms. I don't think that tells you anything that most of you don't already know. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump into this game. Let's go ahead and game speed 3. Go ahead and press play in 3, 2, 1. In the top, our blue commander with the name of Iron Commander spawning as Cybran faction this time, going for a 3-fac rush. I believe he did this in the last replay that I did of him. So going to be doing his crown build and crown flanking maneuvers, which might be hard to counter with the build that his opponent is doing, who is Vanady spawning as the teal and commander. So they flipped the roles for this match. Vanady is popping down 1 air factory and sending a quick weed buff for that scout, doing a nice job expanding. Actually, both players are doing nice job expanding. That scout is gonna find out that 3 land factory. Vanady immediately throws down a land factory of his own, and actually a 2nd land factory as well, sending a engineer, wisely skipping over this mass point, cannot be understated there, and already beginning to bombard those forward loyalists. Now, what this is made to do here, skipping this mass extractor here, is to dissuade his opponent from going into the pocket. Now, a lot of people, even pros, like if they see that this is missing, they might not necessarily go back here, which, you know, is, you know, not necessarily a bad choice, because what makes it worthwhile to spend all of the way going back here is taking out this mass extractor, these 3, and then this one, which is 5. That's quite a bit, but you do spend a lot of time going back here, obviously. So that's kind of a trade-off on time. Late game, it becomes much more viable, but of course, later game, your opponent can close off these flanks much easier. And somehow Vanady has thwarted the advancing flanks. I think Iron Commander has probably paused his production for some reason. Looks like he wants to try and build up his production, and he is ahead on mass here, doing a nice job constructing that anti-air tower, and he's actually going to be protecting this expansion over here as well. Nice micro. He should probably hide behind the mass points here to maximize his DPS, and even healing his loyalists. Nicely done. Let's see if he will forward move his loyalists. He does indeed. There's some air here over here. Bombing run, very nice split. Only loses 1 loyalist in that bombing run for 1 tank. That is an excellent trade-off for Iron Commander, and nicely played. 4th land factory coming out over here on the bottom. Looks like players really like to contest this bottom space, and Vanady actually really likes to do that too. Everybody, I think most players that are at the top like to move down here and kind of fight in this small space. But Iron Commander is kind of special because he does like to flank quite a bit. There's another engagement over here as that engineer plops down a mass extractor. Might not have been the best time, but there's simply way too many loyalists. Iron Commander winning out this engagement, and that is actually a very decisive win. There's a bombing run coming from Vanady, which does not manage to pick off any loyalists. Vanady losing all of his tanks here. That's a little bit unfortunate here. There is a land factory coming out here being built by the commander, so if the shield comes up, that's going to be quite nice for Vanady, but there's a lot of loyalists making their way down here. There is a flanking land factory coming out for Vanady, or sorry, for Iron Commander as well. That factory is at half health. It's not the shield that's being constructed. Tank barely makes it out, but that's not going to be enough here. Bombing run coming out, nicely done. Again, not managing to pick up any loyalists, unfortunately. Losing 3 mass extractors, all of his tanks, and Vanady is in trouble here. His his commander, probably made out of iron, some form of iron at least. Nice bombing run here. Iron Commander does not split in time, actually clumping up there, which is quite unfortunate. And that breakthrough is actually going to be ended here. But the fact of the matter, or the real troubling point here, is that there's a bunch of loyalists making their way down in a stream. This is like a stream of Zerglings coming down the map here, and there is a point defense here that Iron Commander is simply going to choose to avoid going around. Beautiful place, or beautiful play from Iron Commander. I might have just said Vanady, but of course our blue commander is Iron Commander. It's so confusing. So confusing when I say Commander and then Iron Commander. Should just call him Iron. Alright, nice engagement. No micro from Vanady over there on the left-hand side. No micro from Iron either. Those tanks are going to fall to that many Loyalists. Another bombing run. Going to manage to pick off finally 2 Loyalists. But Vanady is just slowly losing his base here. He's going to lose another mass extractor over here before those tanks can... Actually, will he? Nice split fire by the planes and the tanks. Going to manage to pick that off. Those tanks need to start going over here to the bottom side. Managing to pick off that point defense built by Vanady. Now there's a shield in that factory. A bombing run. No split, however. It's a little bit of a mistake. And a Megalith coming out. I think Iron Commander is firmly in control of this game. Vanady has not been on his side of the map for the last, really, like 5 minutes at least. That is quite troubling. All he has to do is retreat and wait for his Megalith, and there's nothing much that Vanady can do. He's being outproduced in every single regard. He is out-economied at this point. Vanady is now doing his crowned wall build. This is very common. Both of these players are really playing their, I want to say, crown builds here. Although usually Vanady plays UEF when I see him do this on this map. Bombing run coming up. Let's see if Iron does a nice job splitting here. Very nice split. Managing to get 2 Loyalists and Adapters now making their way out. Very nicely done by Iron Commander. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 land factories from Iron Commander. And, you know, I'm watching this game. It's a very interesting game. And Vanady is very far behind, which is very weird because I don't think he made a whole lot of mistakes here. I think he just got outproduced and outflanked. I think he probably overextended here at the start. You either have to wait to expand into here or you have to rush here when you're being outproduced like this. Megalith finally making their way out. And this is going to be a very deadly game-ending army from Iron Commander. Vanady is going to try probably to build another point defense there. Yep. Going to go for a point defense, but all that Megalith has to do is just stay out of range here. And I think... oh, teleport could work here. Nicely done. Needs to focus on the Megalith and pray that Iron doesn't have unit detonate, which I'm pretty sure he does at this point. Defensive teleport manages to pick off the Megalith. Very nicely done from Vanady. That's going to deter the Siren player for a little bit longer here. Very nice composition from Iron, however. Now producing bomb bouncers. Brackman. And this teleport is not very good. He's going to lose all of his tanks for basically nothing, and I think that is going to end it because at this point there's nothing that Vanady can do, and if I was Iron I wouldn't even bother about that. Chances are Vanady is going to make a mistake and get structure deaded at the very least, or you can just send a couple of Brackmen and Loyalists to clean that up. Don't need to tie down your Megalith and let your opponent catch up on army. And now Vanady is trying to mass produce, but unfortunately he just does not have the mass for this. He's not even bothering to expand over there to the top of the map. Iron should really resume production on this land factory and just send stuff down this flank like he usually does. I'm not sure why he is not doing that. Another teleport going to hope to snipe, but of course there's unit detonate now, and that cleans up the whole entire army from Vanady, including his planes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end. He teleports 5 units trying to take out 1 Megalith. And that is not going to do it, even without adapters. And unfortunately, Vanady... You know, I have to rewatch this replay to really tell you what went wrong for Vanady. You know, this build is not that uncommon. And Iron Commander just made it look very, very straightforward. Even though I don't think Vanady made too many errors. But spam is very powerful and very real. And this patch, ever since 2014, spam has been very deadly. And this sort of build is very deadly, especially on maps like Open Palms. So it's no surprise that Iron manages to clinch out a win. And I guess it boils down to opening up with an air factory against the 3-fac rush. And that is why I don't like to go air against Cybern, because it's just so easy to get outmaneuvered. Even with good bombing, good air movement, Iron Commander just very solid in this game too, making up for that game 1, tying the series 1-1. Of course, there are no tie breaks in league play, or in regular league play rather. Let's go ahead and look at those promised final league standings. Our winner for the season of the league portion is Hope. Second place is Osmos, which I think we could have predicted, with the exception of maybe Foxtremellon, who is much lower on the table, as you can see. But that is probably due to him not playing as much, but he did tie quite a bit. So his differential there is not the greatest, but nevertheless, it's surprising to see Foxtremellon solo, but not really surprising to see Hope and Osmos up there. And Iron Commander managing to place in the top 4, top 3 actually, above Maganra based on those matches played. Maganra in top 4 place, been in the top 4 every league season. Very, very impressive from Maganra. He's just not having too much luck in tournament play recently, so hopefully he improves here as we get towards the Invitational. And then our usual trio, I think, in the next top 8, Rainbows, Fortuna, and J-Wix, with the exception of Foxtremellon, of course. And then Vanady, I think just hasn't played many matches, unfortunately, and the ones that he did play were a lot of ties. I think he only won 1 match, which is very, very unfortunate. Vanady, 9th place. Ral, who is a newcomer to the SCS, but he played very well. I watched some of his matches. And unfortunately, this caliber of players is just simply stunning, and it's incredible, and it's very difficult to win against any of these players. So there's bound to be winners and losers, and unfortunately, Ral and JP Smith do take that 10th and 11th spot. JP Smith, again, I don't know. You've been playing since league season, actually since Serpents Open Winter you've been playing. And I've always thought that your play was solid, or his play was solid. And I honestly don't know why he's not winning much more. I hope you're watching some of these videos, JP. Maybe you can improve based on some of the things I say. And I hope to see you also in the Serpents Open Fall. You still have a chance to qualify because of that extra special qualification element that I've added, that I've talked about in the beginning of this video. So all of you, I urge to join. Now, I think actually I wasn't planning to do this, but I'm going to throw up the SCS league standings up there as well. So let's go ahead and jump to that. I might need a second to load here my actual league standings, but I do know who's at the very top, of course, as you expect him to be. Maganra remains at the top and actually cannot be dethroned from that first space. He's followed by Hope, who has had very solid performance. This is actually his first top 1 finish, but he's been top 2 and top 4 pretty much every other event that he's played. Foxtremellon, who's had very solid summer, very impressive summer. Alpha Hex, Fortuna, Osmos. So actually top 5 up to Fortuna have already qualified and are pretty much guaranteed to go. Well, not pretty much, are guaranteed to go. There's no way they can be dethroned from those top 5. And then the next, I would say 6 to 7 spots is very up in the air. Osmos, Rainbows, Vanady, J-Wix, Soul Ripper, Lil Ro, and Iron Commander, of course. You know, some of these players don't play anymore. Most notably, Little Ro, who I'm very sad to see that she is now no longer playing this game. She had a beautiful game, and definitely one of the best players that I have seen in Supreme Commander 2, but unfortunately we haven't seen her for over 6 months now. Maybe she will come back, but at this point it is a little difficult for her to qualify. She had a very strong showing in League 1 and Serpents Open Winter, but fortunately that will probably be the biggest disappointment, because with her in the final 8, that would be a very interesting proposition. And Iron Commander still kind of far from that top, so it's going to be hard for him to qualify, but anything is possible. Anything is possible for those top 12. So if you're in the top 12, I urge you to definitely sign up and try to get some more last minute points. And then if you're outside here as well in the top 41, actually 42, I also urge you to play, because who knows, maybe you will have a lucky streak and take that top space to qualify based on that additional element that I've added. So there you go, folks. That is League Season 3 and the end of leagues for this year. So if you've enjoyed this, again, please do like and comment on this video. Let me know what you thought about these leagues, not just this league. And let me know what I could improve in my videos. Check out some of my other videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.